the 22nd, February 22nd.
The eye care program.
Look, okay, wait, look, I'm gonna call you back.
35 years of alcohol, drug abuse, and violence prevention. Serving the East Baton Rouge Parish community since 1981.
Hello and welcome to Eye Care Live. I'm Sarah Balmino, school psychology intern at LSU, and here with me today is Agent Larry Cooper, senior legal investigator from the Office of Alcoholic Beverage Control, or ABC. Welcome to Eye Care Live. It's good to have you with us.
Appreciate it. Nice to be.
Yeah, nice to be
Nice
here.
to be welcome. Correct. For change.
Agent Cooper, tell us about ABC and what you do there.
Because of the growing, concern in the community about the possession and consumption of alcohol, the Metro Council established, the Office of Alcohol Beverage Control back in 1981 because there was a lack of accountability and responsibility from a lot of the businesses, not checking identifications, the possession of alcohol, the consumption of alcohol for minors, with the type of accidents, alcohol poisoning, things like that. It was a major concern. So they put us together to do that. We've been in existence over 30 years. Our main function is to enforce the wine, beer, and liquor ordinances of the city of Baton Rouge.
Okay, sounds like an important organization for
Very.
Baton Rouge.
It is.
How does your agency enforce laws associated with underage possession and consumption of alcohol?
Well, it's quite a few, but, we'll just be direct about, a few things. What we do to hold accountable to all the businesses is a mandatory responsible vendor course that they have to take upon immediate employment. The business owners also have, to take it as well about the growing concerns about the possession of alcohol, because they have to sell, dispense, serve to patrons or whatnot, and there's a responsibility that you can only sell to persons of the age of 21 and above. Due to the fact that juveniles tend to, obtain, possession of alcohol, because it is against the law to even be in possession of it, let alone consume it. Our office also performs what's called compliance enforcement. What we do, we'll have an underage CI to go into a place of business. Our actual main concern is the checking of identification. We're viewing it. There's sometimes we have technical equipment, we have button cams and mics where we're actually viewing it, or we have an undercover agent or officer inside that place of business viewing everything. We're checking to see if they're checking identification first. If not, and that sale is made, then we'll go in and enforce, that place of business for that violation. Also, what we do, we're part of a task force called JUDE, which is Juvenile Underage Drinking Enforcement, and we're tasked out with the Baton Rouge City Police, the Sex Crime Unit, and East Baton Rouge Sheriff's Department Narcotics Division, because we run into so much, drugs, paraphernalia, alcohol, that we need those divisions. And also we run into things like sex trafficking, human trafficking, in the enforcement of this. That's why we work together with those agencies for that growing concern about possession of alcohol for juveniles and for establishments that's either selling, serving, or dispensing alcohol to the underage.
Wow. What other efforts are being made to maintain compliance with the law?
Also, what our office does is inspections. We may show up at any time, and they have to be in compliance. These businesses that has an alcohol license to sell, serve, or dispense, once we show up, we have to inspect the business licensing, and it has to be posted as required by law. And it also, all employees have to display their liquor permits on the premises at all times. It cannot be a refusal of that, or that's a violation as well. I also want to note that if there's a sale of alcohol to a minor, the administrative fines through ABC is very extensive. It's $250 towards the person who sells. It's $700 towards the business because of that active sale that happened with that employee. A lot of people don't understand that it's a criminal violation as well, and they can't go to jail. The person who sells can go to jail. The bad part about that is the manager and the owner can go to jail because of what that employee has done. So I think that's why the Metro Council increased the fines, the hold, and greater accountability as well, because I think we'd have an issue with the jails being full with the activity of what we enforce. So.
Yeah. So just so that all of us know, what are the open container laws, and should parents out there be concerned if their child is in a vehicle that does contain an open container?
That is a great question and a great concern, because a lot of people don't know. In the city of Baton Rouge, there is an open container law. Outside of this city, there are no open container laws. There is a traffic law that mandates open container in the vehicle. Either the driver or the passenger can get in trouble, and it's a traffic charge and fine. Whereas in Baton Rouge, it is against the law. If you have an underage, juvenile inside of a vehicle, all the subjects may be underage, and it could be one container that's open inside of that vehicle. All of those, juveniles can get in trouble. And what people don't understand, what consists of open container, and not limited to factory sealed products. If the seal is broken on either one of these products, even if it's consumed or not, it's still considered open container because the seal has been broken. Once the seal has been broken, then we can enforce that charge if it's due to reasonable suspicion or probable cause. Now, another thing people need to understand, styrofoam cups, daiquiris, glass, solo cups or whatnot, that has no factory sealed product, it is still considered open container, and it can be enforced. Whether the straw is in a daiquiri or not, that is not a factory sealed product in the city of Baton Rouge. It can be enforced. Okay, and it doesn't matter who consumed it or not. You don't even have to consume it to be charged with that. Inside of a vehicle is still considered possession.
Right. So even if there's no straw in it, and there's just that cup, it's not a factory seal, so it's considered an open container.
Correct.
And then even if that is opened and empty, it's still an open
It's
container?
still an open container.
Okay.
And whether it's open and none of it has been consumed, still open container. Okay? And like I said, parents need to be aware of this. They actually need to be aware of who their kids are associating with. A lot of our enforcement, complaints come from, well, my kid wasn't drinking, they were in the vehicle, they didn't know that it was an open container of alcohol in the vehicle. I hate to say this, but ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Right.
And you have to be concerned who you're getting in the car with, because that's a lot of the complaints we get from juveniles when they step from a vehicle, that they didn't know that may be, alcohol may be in the container. So, and they can get in trouble whether they consumed it or not. Possession is against the law for the underage. Don't have to consume it. There's a charge with open container in public and also open container in the vehicle, and both are criminal misdemeanors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're glad to have you giving us all this information so that
Yes.
people don't have to be ignorant of the law. So how does your agency deal with fake IDs?
Okay. I can't statistically say it's an epidemic, but it's a serious, serious problem.
Yeah.
I wish I could have had on display the boxes of fake IDs we've, gathered within the time I've been here since 2008. But we still have quite a few, and they've become so sophisticated. It's hard to catch. Ever since 9/11, it's been deemed a felony, and you'd be surprised that a lot of these juveniles know that it's a felony, it's against the law. We're moving to amend some of the laws locally where, you know, there could be some serious trouble for being in possession of a fake ID or using a real ID in a false manner. It's such a problem. A lot of the times it's by word of mouth of an establishment, mostly in retail establishments. You know, if a juvenile is being given a hookup, they can't keep that quiet. They'll tell their friends, and then the next thing you know, it always round robins to us. But we do undercover stings, underground establishments where they're selling alcohol in neighborhoods. You think it's a house party. It's an actual house, what they call a good house. We have to do things like that where there's a lot of underage drinking going on in those places. But with the fake IDs, we do have scanners where we run the ID, but some of them are so sophisticated. They have all their personal information on it, but change their date of birth, and it reads like a legitimate ID. Normal fake IDs won't read. Fake IDs would normally buckle in the lamination. Real IDs don't do that. If you bend the ID, it'll buckle within the lamination. They're not so thick and hard, but it is a felony to be, to use a fake ID. And those are the efforts that we're trying. We also advise them that, it's a felony, and a lot of them know. We actually charge them with misrepresentation of age to obtain alcohol, and it's up to the courts to enforce that. Normally they do, because it's the intent when they're caught. The law says check persons who appear to be 30 years of age or younger. I do not know what that looks like, but doing this job for so long, you can, gauge appearance and see if they appear to be underage, which gives us our probable cause to approach them, especially if they're in possession of any type of alcoholic beverage, or if it's a styrofoam cup or whatnot. Also, when it's a styrofoam cup, especially in areas where alcohol is highly consumed, we use this passive alcohol system that actually reads similar to an intoxilizer, and they can actually check the signature of alcohol within the cup. Whether it's full, whether it's empty, it still reads it. So whether they try to get rid of it and run, we still have evidence. Okay, all evidence is submitted to State Police Crime Lab, to verify and document. We take photos, we record things like that, and all that's submitted for court in case we need it.
That's some great information. Thank you so much for sharing all of that.
Yes, ma'am.
Where should people go for some, more information if they have additional questions?
If they have any more questions, they can call me at 225-389-3364. You can ask for Agent Cooper. Also, you can go to our website, which is www.brgov.com/ABC, and it'll lead you to links. And if you can't find it there, just call me, and I'll direct you to wherever you need to go.
Thank you so much for being with us today and for all the information.
I'm glad you had me. Thanks a lot.